I had 2/6, that's the same as saying 2 divided by 6, or saying how many times can 6 go into 2? Well, 6 can't go into 2 things without breaking it apart. So we need to add a decimal point here, put a placeholder, 0. Now, how many times can 6 go into 20? Well, it can go in 3 times. 6 times 3 is 18. 20 minus 18 is 2. I got to put a placeholder in the hundredths place. How many times can 6 go into 20? 3 times. Because 6 times 3 is 18. 20 minus 18 is 2. Add a 0 in the hundredths place. Bring it down. How many times can 6 go into 20? It can go in 3 times. So 6 times 3 is 18. That gives me 2. So what you're seeing here is that this is literally equal to 2 divided by 6 is equal to 0.3 repeating. Now 2/6 can be reduced down to a similar fraction of 1/3, because I can take the 2 and divide it by 2, and I can take the 6 and divide it by 2, and I get 2 divided by 2 equaling 1, and 6 divided by 2 equaling 3. Alright? Alright? Alright. So 2/6 is equal to 0.3 repeating. What about 3/6? If I had 3 divided by 6, well, that's equal to 1/2, because 3 can be divided by 3 evenly 1 time, and 6 can be divided by 3 evenly 2 times. So we know that the decimal point for 1/2 is 0.5. You don't know that? Well, how much is half a dollar? Half of a dollar is 50 cents. So that's the reason why. He's a good boy. He's a good bean. Thank you. And what about 4/6? Which is the same as 4 divided by 6. 4 divided by 6 is the same as saying how many times can 4 be divided by 6. So how many times can 4 be divided by 6? 0 times. So that means we got to break this into smaller pieces. So how many times can 6 go into 40? Well, it can go 6 times, because 6 times 6 is 36. 40 minus 36 is 4. Add another 0 here. Bring down the 0. How many times can 6 go into 40? 6 times. 6 times 6 is 36. 40 minus 36 is 4. Add another 0 here. How many times can 6 go into 40? 6 times. 36. And this keeps on going forever and ever and ever. Which is 0.6 repeating. And we said this was a half, right? Now what about 5/6? What is that equal to? 5/6 is equal to, how many times can 6 go into 5? That's what I need to ask myself. 6 can't go into 5, so I got to break it apart. So when you break it apart, you put that decimal point right there, and you put the 0 right here. So how many times can 6 go into 50? Well, 6 times 8 is 48. 50 minus 48 is 2. I need to put a placeholder here in the hundredths place. 6 can go into 20. How many times? 3 times. So I have 6 times 3 being 18. 20 minus 18 is 2. Got to put a 0 in the hundredths or the thousandths place. Bring that 0 down. How many times can 6 go into 20? 3. We're going to have that pattern here as well. So 5/6 equals 0.83 repeating. Got it? Good. And then obviously 6 divided by 6 is equal to 1, right? So this is 0.83 repeating. 0.83 repeating. So if you keep on dividing 1 divided by 6 on the previous page for 2 more decimal places, what do you notice? So if I were to keep on taking this number here and dividing it out 2 more times, I would still get a 6. The 6 would still repeat. Explain why the decimal 1/6 is called a repeating decimal. Well, that's because if I kept on going on forever and ever and ever, I would always have a remainder of 4 that needed to be divided into by 6, which would always produce another 6. Describe and explain the relationship between 2/6 and 4/6. So 2/6 right here, 2/6 was equal to 0.3 repeating, and 4/6 was equal to 0.6 repeating. If you look at 4/6 compared to 2/6, 4/6 is just 2/6 plus 2/6 added together to get 4/6. So we know that 2/6 was equal to 0.3 repeating, right? And we also know that 2/6 was equal to 0.3 repeating. If I added these together, I would get 0.6 repeating. You got that? Good. Now, divide to right. 1 divided by 9 is a decimal. Continue to 3 decimal places. So if I were to take this and I were to divide 1 by 9, I know that 9 can't go into 1, so that's 0. So this is going to be a fraction, or a decimal, to see how many equal parts of 9 I get out of 1. So how many times can 9 go into 10? 1 time. 1 times 9 is 9. 10 minus 9 is 1. Add another 0 here, bring it down. How many times can 9 go into 10? 1 time. That is 9. 10 minus 9 is 1. Put another 0 here in the thousands place. Bring that down. How many times can 9 go into 10? 1. So, I'm showing that this is a repeating decimal and that 1/9 is equal to 0.1 repeating. So how can you use the fact that 1/3 is equal to 3/9 to write the decimal for 1/3? Well, I know that 1/3 is equal to 3/9 because 1/3 times 3 equals, so I know 1/3 is equal to 0.3 repeating, right? 1/3 equals 3/9 because I can reduce 3/9 by 3 on the numerator and 3 on the denominator, which puts it down to 1/3. I know from previous lessons that 1 divided by 3 is equal to 0.3 repeating. So basically, I know that this is just a multiple of 1/3, which would still produce the same answer. Don't believe me? Look at this. 9 can go into 3 how many times? 0. So we know we're going to have a fraction. How many times can 9 go into 3? 30. Well, it can go in 3 times. 3 times 9 is 27. Or 30 minus 27 is 3. This process will repeat forever. So, therefore, I know 1/3 has to equal 3/9.